What up? What up? What up? It's your boy JB coming at you live and direct, man. And y'all know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Instagram at the Real Cigar Jeff. See how I'm getting down in this game, man. See what I'm smoking on. See what I'm sipping on. See what I'm wearing, man. And just see my overall contribution back to this industry, man, that I love so much, man. And y'all do me a favor, as I say as I say at every podcast, man. We just did episode 25 last week, man. I just appreciate y'all, and I appreciate y'all, man, because go down below. Y'all have all been doing it. Go down below, support the channel, get the merch, man. It's all about seeing this podcast grow, and I hear y'all feedback, man. I get that some of y'all want me to go on YouTube. Y'all want to see if this camaraderie is real because y'all don't believe what you're hearing. So, just know I'm looking at some things to be able to go on YouTube so y'all can be live and direct with us, man. I know y'all want to see my panelists. I know y'all want to see my guests. Y'all listening to the words. So I know y'all want to see their faces now. But that's why I tell you where you can find them at on Instagram in the meantime. And man, y'all know I'm smoking on my Monte Cristo White Series. Got a little bit of this First Call small batch bourbon that I'm sipping on, because this topic tonight gonna be crazy, man. And y'all know when I deal with these real topics, it's only a couple reinforcements I can call in so y'all can get hit over the head with this banger. I'm just telling y'all right now, when we bring out these real topics, like I tell y'all, it's real topics, real people having real conversations, man. And y'all know who I got. It's once again the hometown hookup edition. I shouldn't even have to say nothing now, because y'all know who I'm about to introduce, man. You know, at the end of the day, he calls himself the people's champ. He's the resident antagonist. He tries to figure out exactly how to go to the opposite of me on every opinion, which is why y'all love him. I got to lay it up for him again, man. Y'all keep wanting him to come back, so I got to keep bringing him back. If it was up to me, it'd just be me and the other part of the hometown hookup edition. But then y'all say that ain't fair because we agree on everything. I'm going to let him introduce himself, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
What's going on, JB? Thank you for having me back once again for some reason. It's your boy, TL Clayton. You can find me on Instagram at TL Clayton #1. And tonight, the stick I have is a Perderma. It's Connecticut. And, summer's gone now. We're moving into fall. So I'm sipping on a Yingling Oktoberfest. That's a seasonal brew. And just going from there.
Awesome, man. Y'all know I always appreciate my boy TLC, man. I always appreciate my boy TLC. I think he done sent my email to NC State. Ever since I started this podcast, I'm now starting to get emails from the Alumni Association asking for donations. I'm like, man, who done gave my email? Who done gave my email to NC State? And then all you got to do, all your problems, guys, just remember this. All you got to do is look up. He right there in front of your face. I say, he right there in front of your face. And y'all don't forget now, first weekend in October, if y'all want to meet TLC in person, he gonna be down here at the Orlando location, downtown Orlando. Man, y'all know who else I got. My A1 from day one, man. And I'm gonna tell y'all like this, it's always a pleasure to have her on the podcast. It's a lot easier to introduce her than to introduce TLC, because she worked with me and not against me. I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
What up, what up, what up? Thanks, JB, for having me on your call. It's your girl, RMB, LMBT on Instagram, a.k.a. Rhonda. I'm sipping on tonight a little bit of Tahitian Treat Fruit Punch. And my main thing is the Crown Royal, my go-to whiskey, lemonade. Back to you, JB.
See, this is what y'all don't get. That's why we call this the hometown hookup edition. Because some of y'all just said, what is Tahitian Treat? And now when y'all go Google it, we came up rough now. Only certain people know about that Tahitian Treat. When y'all go Google it now, sometimes you just y'all don't laugh at us. Y'all don't laugh at us, but that Tahitian Treat.
Not the Hawaiian Punch.
Not the Hawaiian Punch. We couldn't afford that. That Tahitian Treat.
And that's fake.
That Tahitian Treat, guys, gonna get you tight. Ain't got no alcohol in it, but you gonna be up the next 3 days straight. So I need y'all to understand. Be careful with that Tahitian Treat if you ain't grow up with it. It's the equivalent of growing up on gas and then you're gonna switch to diesel. So just be careful. Be careful with that thing. But only on the Hometown Hookup Edition will you learn about Tahitian treat. All y'all from the hometown know about it. That jungle juice, all that stuff we used to drink back at the convenience store. So, man, look, once again, I appreciate my panel, man. So I got to give y'all the topic tonight. And like I said, whenever I do these real topics like this, I got to come back to my people that we can have a real conversation with y'all about it. Tonight's topic is the lie will set you free because y'all can't handle the truth. All right, let me repeat myself. The lie will set you free because y'all can't handle the truth. And let me go there, guys, before I turn it over to TLC and to Rhonda and let them know, so they can let y'all know what they're thinking. But, man, the reason I did this is you tell people the truth these days, and these people go crazy. These people go crazy. And what I realize is how big business it is out there to lie to you. Because telling you the truth will not set you free. It'll kill you. Because you've been bought up on a lie for so long. It's the only thing you see is freedom. Is to keep lying to you. TLC, jump in there and tell me what you thought when I called you and said that's going to be the topic of the day. I know I just dropped that wisdom on you right there. So go ahead, TLC. Let me know what you was thinking.
When you told me the topic, I thought about a previous discussion that I had with one of my boys. And it was about a couple that was married. They've been married for years, like 20, 30 years. And it turned out that, like, it wasn't them, but just some people they knew. I guess the wife found out that the husband had cheated on her years before, like before they got married. But he didn't disclose this to her. And now they're going through a divorce. And we were talking about, like, if you were married and you've been married for 20-some years and you found out the person you were with cheated on you 20-some years ago, but didn't tell you, would you break up now? Like, all the things you've been through? But he said yes. He was like, yeah, if I found out that, it would be over. Because the whole relationship has been built on a lie. All this time I've been living a lie. And I didn't think of it that way. I was like, 20 years ago is 20 years ago. It'd be different if she did it like
yesterday.
Last year, last week. Yeah, yesterday. Okay.
We're not talking about the Boston. We're not talking about the Boston coach on this podcast, guys. That's gonna be a different way. I know y'all think TLC going there.
No. But just in general. So I think in general, if you have a relationship, no matter if it's, I guess, business or personal or whatever, if it's built on a lie, your relationship will start over once you get to the truth. Like, you got to start off from scratch. Again, I guess it's up to both people which way that goes or how that goes, but that's what came to my mind.
It's interesting, TLC. You took it to marriage, because I never would have gone there on the. I wasn't looking at that from a marriage perspective. But we'll talk about that too. Because I think you brought up a good point. Tying it to marriage, I'm always tied to just dealing with people and dealing with business. That's always my angle on the podcast. Rhonda, what are you thinking? Because I know, again, with being a massage therapist, man, you hear a lot of people justifying their lies. That's why I wanted you on this podcast, because of people having to come to get on your table because them lies locking them up and you got to loosen them back up. Go ahead and tell me what you thought when you heard the topic.
Really, JB?
Your clients ain't listening. Right. Your clients ain't listening.
My clients ain't listening. Okay. Now, I just got to say this first. I think our boy TLC may be leaning toward, he must have somebody special in his life to bring up relationships, and I'm down for it. I hope, look, whatever's going on.
He bringing it up every time, ain't he, Rhonda?
Listen, I'm here for it. Fall love.
It's damn show cuffing season.
I ain't mad at you. Get your point across. But JB, what I thought about when you said this, of course, like you said, how you take everything from the business standpoint and expansion standpoint. I can't help but think about my massage practice and who does get on my table and what they share and what they don't share that they think they're not sharing. And of course, man, we love to be lied to. Don't nobody want to know something is wrong, or I'm not doing the best, and I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, or my way ain't working, so let me just, somebody gonna tell me to switch and go a different route. And yes, you're right, it does get locked up in people's bodies, but what I first thought about was how sad life must be for people that that's the path they have to take because they know the truth will kill them.
Yes.
Lie to me all day. As long as I can stay in my mess, as long as I don't have to put the mirror back on me, put the work on me to fix. Yes, lie to me. So yeah, that was my thought. Back to you, JB.
And that's why, guys, I'm having this conversation with Rhonda and TLC on the line. Okay, that's what I need y'all to see. That's why I'm having this conversation with Rhonda and TLC on the line. Now, when I talk about this topic, we've all heard of the cliche, fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it, right? Which is basically lie until you can tell the truth, right? Lie until I don't have to lie anymore.
Right.
Also, too, it's the same people. Positive vibes only. Positive vibes only. No, that means lie to me only. Right? Everything in your life ain't going to go well. The best thing about life is that there's peaks and valleys. But a lot of people want to get lied to. Right? They want to get lied to in order to help them cope with the fact that if I just hold on to this long enough, it'll eventually become true. And that's not typically how it works, guys. And for all my listeners out there, I know you guys have heard these cliches. I know you guys have heard these statements. It's no different than the people I see working out online. I mean, you working out on social media, and you see them doing the hashtag health is well. No, the hell it ain't. Wealth is well. Wealth is well. And what do I mean by that, right? I got to tell myself a lie so I don't have to accept reality. That's why I said that you can't handle the truth. You can work out all day. It ain't gonna put no money in your pocket like wealth puts money in your pocket. Now, don't get me wrong. Your body looks good. You might get a good report from the machine. Notice I don't say get a report from the doctor because the doctor don't practice medicine no more. All they do is just read off the results, run a machine to you. TLC, everybody trying to beat the machine. You go to GNC, get this supplement, get that supplement. That'll help you beat the machine. What doctor is practicing medicine right now? All of them just reading the machine. Right? Now, we don't want to hear that. The lie is, I'm a practitioner. No, you reading the machine. You reading the machine. The machine does everything, spits it out. You read it to me. That's what you do. That's why I can Google everything that machine pops out. And if I learn it enough, when the doctor tells me I have this or I have that, I already knew about it. So TLC, let's talk about some of these cliches. Because one of the things you're seeing is, like I said, fake it till you make it, all this kind of stuff. Right? Positive vibes only, no negative vibes, and social media, right? We're going to get into filters because all filters is a lie. So, TLC, when you hear me say all these things, what you thinking about, brother?
Well, first of all,
here we go.
Just disclosure, I just recently had my colonoscopy done. So the doctors are doing something. Like, he had to work, like, and health is wealth. When you come out with a thumbs up, you like, thank you. So that's the first thing. I do disagree with you on that. But with the cliches, fake it till you make it, all these other things, I think it's about getting your mindset focused in the right direction. So at least if you're focused on where you want to go, you might not be there yet, but that's the direction you're headed in. I think the problem is when people don't put action behind that. They just want to keep faking it.
But stop right there.
There's nothing wrong.
But stop right there, TLC. That's what you just preached, right? If I'm faking it till I'm making it, I'm just caring about appearance. I'm not doing anything to go that direction. I'm just caring about appearance. That's why fake it till you make it doesn't work. I'll give you an example. If I was a rapper and I'm trying to get put on, Reverend Run tells this story all the time, right? They had to spit on demand. They had to spit rhymes. If somebody wrote, you can't say you're a rapper, then say, oh, well, I can't do this now, or I don't have a demo tape and all this kind of stuff. You got a lot of people trying to fake it till they make it. It ain't even working in that direction at all. It's just an appearance thing.
But
Go
that's
ahead.
The difference. That's the difference. A person who's actually working in the direction versus a person that's just, he's not even faking it to make it. He's just faking it to fake it. At a certain point, I think there is a difference. I think that when I first got my real estate license, I hadn't sold anything, hadn't did anything in real estate. And they're telling you, like, this is the way you should introduce yourself. Mm-hmm. You should talk about it. But they're going to tell you, like, you need to highlight the company and not you, because you don't have any sales. You don't have any clients. You have to talk about the company. This is what my company has done. I represent the company. So you kind of are faking it.
No,
until you make it.
TLC, you're not faking it till you make it. Don't confuse faking it till you make it with training. See, it's a big difference when I'm training you on what to say because I know the objections you're going to encounter. I know the objections. So all I'm doing right now is making sure so you don't have to go out there and lie. Because in real estate, TLC, we lose our license if we lie. Right? We got to disclose all material facts. We got
supposedly.
Hey, look, guys. Look, don't get no house from TLC. Look, ain't no telling what he doing back there. But TLC, you bringing up a good point. But I think our listeners got to understand the lie will set you free. People trying to do the lie so they don't have to work. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, I'm lying so I don't have to do all the real work. That's what people are trying to figure out. There's a cliche that says there's a fool born every day. These liars go out looking for the fool. And because there's a fool born every day who will believe it, they get away with it. Rhonda, jump in there and let me know what you think when you hear me saying this.
Well, yeah, there are fools born every day from that aspect of it. I feel like what you're talking about with this particular topic is just in our everyday lives and how we move about with what we're doing, whether it is in our career or personally. If we break it down and look at how we do code switch, right? Like sometimes I could talk differently when I'm around you. I don't have to pronounce all my words or say words exaggerated a certain way. But if I'm in my profession, I'm gonna make sure I use the right lingo and doing all that stuff. So the lies are lies, but those are different types of lies. But when you're talking about somebody who is going around here in a relationship, trying to get a female, and they're saying, "Hey, I have this, I have that, I have this," and then once you get behind the scenes, and it's the complete opposite, and they're a complete bum or a complete joker or whatever words you want to use, then you're like, "Oh, this sucker here better get on, right? Stop disturbing me. Don't disturb me." And so yes, there is a fool born every minute, but it's just a matter of if it's going to be relationship wise or if it's going to be in your profession. Back to you, Jimmy.
And Rhonda, look, that's why I appreciate you bringing that up, because I want to make sure that when you're dealing with your clients, you're obligated to use your training. That's not faking it, guys, and that's what a lot of people got to understand who listening to this. Using your training is necessary, right? And you got a lot of people at their jobs now saying, "Oh, I want to be me." Well, being you ain't gonna make no money, right? That's why I love going to Disney. Disney costs $200 to get in. Why? Because everybody's smiling at you. You think they like you? Hell no, they don't. Right? You think Mickey love walking around taking a picture with you when it's 150 degrees down here in that suit? No, but training will allow him to do. And I want to make sure we delineate between when a person is using training versus when a person is lying. Right. So what'll happen is what TLC and Rhonda just mentioned to y'all. I want my listeners to notice they just gave y'all a good example of the fact that, OK, when I'm dealing with my clients, I got to do this, this and this. When I'm at my job, I got to do this, this and this. Guys, that's not lying. That's training. Right. That's training. Why do I know it's training? Because when I'm not on the clock, I don't have to say that. Now, here's what I'll tell people. I had to learn a while back, never take the cape off, because more than likely, if I first met you, you got introduced to my training. You didn't get introduced to me, right? You didn't get introduced to me. You got introduced to my training. Well, now, if you ever see me outside of my training, you're going to be like, who is this guy? And what I realize is your training is the only thing that gets you through life, because once you stop using your training, that's when somebody's going to take advantage of you. Now, TLC, I'm going back to you since you brought it up about your colonoscopy. I know you disagree with me, but just know he went up there with a camera and a little joystick, right? He was just working with a little joystick that somebody came and trained him. He probably played NBA 2K. He probably played NBA 2K and practicing before he did that little camera with your colonoscopy. I got to get him, y'all. I got to get him anytime he disagree with me. But I hope y'all see what I'm saying, though, guys. Torrance, I want you to jump back in there when you hear me talk about the difference between when I'm in professional mode versus when I'm in personal mode. I want to make sure people don't confuse that with being in professional mode is the fake mode, is the lie mode. No, being in the professional mode is your training mode. When you hear me say that TLC, tell me what you think about that. And then, Rhonda, I want you to jump in.
Okay.
I actually agree with you on that one. I mean, I don't know why people think they have to be the way they were before they got their training order, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's like, no, you're going into a different environment, a
Mm-hmm.
different atmosphere, so you have to carry yourself different. I don't think there's anything. I don't think that's fake. I don't think that's being fake at all. So when I hear this thing, fake it until you make it, again, to me that talks about mindset, and what the meaning behind that is that you need to start thinking about business. So you're not really being fake. You're just focusing on the business aspects of things. Eventually, you should catch back up to the point where you don't have to think about that. You just carry yourself like that normally, bro.
And TLC, before I let Rhonda in there, I agree with what you're saying. I think a lot of people though have bought into this concept that you're fake at your job and you're real outside of it. Yeah, right. And so now everybody coming into their job thinking about, nah, I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be me. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: a lot of people don't like you personally. You have to be good at your job. You have to be good at the training for your job and all that good stuff. And I think that's where a lot of people, when you try to correct them, that look, man, don't nobody like you. Right? I know you trying to be you, but don't nobody like that. We ain't making no money. And you got to accept that. Or, right, I got to keep lying to you in order to keep you around. Rhonda, jump in there because I don't want to go too far ahead before I hear what you got to say.
Oh, no, you're fine. So, like, when you're living in a world where everybody gets a trophy and God forbid you pick on someone or say something that rubs somebody the wrong way, unfortunately, in the workplace, a lot of times you'll find, especially nowadays,
Yes.
people are going to be those slackers who they are, because being the professional requires them to change. And to them, I got to be true to me. It's the 35th anniversary of A Different World.
Yes.
So, of course, I was watching one of the episodes last night, and it was the one with Tupac where he was Piccolo, and her girl came from DC,
Yes.
man, and they were like,
Yes.
they were like, oh, Lena, you forgot who you were.
Yes.
I don't want. And Lena was like, look, I don't want to be on no corner, man. I don't want to be on no corner.
Yes.
Working at the local store. There ain't nothing wrong with working at the local store. Like, she was just trying to get an education, right?
Yes.
Like, but she tried her best, man, to appeal to her peers and her friends from growing up and being on the corner. But she also knew she was loving this world, being in college, being on her own, learning something different. And she was here for it. But she also knew that she was being fake to one of those worlds, if not both of those worlds.
Yes. Right now, you preaching. That episode took me back, boy, because guess what? Guess what? Like, y'all got to remember, that was when Jada Pinkett didn't have all this stuff associated with her. She was just a great actress, man. Y'all got to remember that episode, because y'all remember Jada Pinkett had faked all of her applications. She on this history scholarship. She in that she in there with the professor that Cliff played pinochle with. All that kind of stuff, right? She cooking. She got a hot plate in the new dorm, burned the new dorm down. And y'all remember on Different World, it all came crumbling down. But because she had talent, they let her stay. Before the actual show went off. Ron, I'm glad you brought that up. For all my listeners that don't know what Different World is, it's just another sitcom, man, that we grew up on to help us deal with how tough life was. And it's one of the shows that really made black people want to go to college. And that was one of the first shows that we said, oh, my God, is it like that at school? A lot of us had never seen a window into what higher education looked like. And I think it's so funny that you bring that up, Rhonda, because I see all the episodes on and all that kind of stuff. And it's just one of the things is that was one of the first shows we saw that made us say, man, we got to get to college. And so, again, I appreciate Rhonda bringing that up, because once I start being fake and once I start lying, I got a lot of everybody. Now, the reason why I got TLC on this podcast, the reason why I got Rhonda on this podcast is I've had disagreements, or we don't see eye to eye on everything, but we ain't got to lie to each other. I mean, and because if you lie to one another, a lie can't stop. A lie has to keep being fueled. And I think about Ponzi schemes, right? If we think about Bernie Madoff, right? He turned himself in. That man was so good at lying. He said, man, look, I know y'all were on y'all way, bro. Here go my passport. I'm going to go ahead and give y'all my passport. Man, look, I'm just broke now. I can't keep it going. Y'all go ahead and take me to jail. See, when what happens, guys, is this. Some of y'all
Can
ain't
I
even.
mention
Yeah,
something
go
about
ahead.
that, though?
Yeah, go ahead, TLC.
There was a person that caught Bernie Madoff early on.
Yes.
He was like, their
No
numbers
way.
don't add up.
No way he can do it.
But nobody believed him. He was the one that was telling the truth. But people didn't believe him.
I'm glad TLC just preached. He's stealing my thunder, y'all. I called him this week, and I knew he was going to steal my message. We have gotten to a point where we don't believe truth. People got to convince you of the truth, but they ain't got to do nothing to get you to believe the lie. So now you understand why everybody lies. Right? Because if I'm sitting here telling you the truth, y'all got to understand. I called TLC this week. I try to give him wisdom, and he just rejects it. He just rejects it. Bro, I give you wisdom.
I don't remember that conversation.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Bruh, every time I try to call my boys and give them wisdom, they reject it. And I say, man, you know what? Why do I keep telling people truth? Why do I keep giving people wisdom? They just fight it. But if you shoot them a lie, everybody believes it. And TLC, you brought up a good point. Rhonda, I want you to jump in there because now we have been trained to want the lie to be the truth. And when somebody tells us the truth, we hate the person who told the truth. Not only do we hate the message, we hate the messenger too. Jump in there, Rhonda.
Well, of course you're going to hate the messenger. You go all this long believing the lie, and then here, I'll just put it on me. Here I come telling you like, nah, man, that's not how it works, and that's not how it went down, or whatever the case may be. And it could be something that you literally know has happened in history. It doesn't even have to be something like that you saw on a sitcom or saw on a show or anything like that. It's just that people are so self-absorbed that anything that goes against the grain of what their normal state is has to be a lie. Because why? The truth don't feel good at all, but this lie, boy, it's smooth like y'all liquor and bourbon that y'all drink. And if that was a lie, it wouldn't taste so doggone good.
Mm-hmm. And Rhonda.
And so when you battling with that, like how, yes, of course they're gonna fight tooth and nail to hold on to that belief. They're gonna fight hard for that. And so that's why you just walk away, like, you know what? Whatever happens, man. You ain't ready to be free.
Right, we'll stop right there, Ron. That's why I said the lie set you free. Because you have, if I got to lie to you, you've already decided that you want your freedom to be a lie. And so I got to keep lying to you. Because otherwise you don't know how to embrace truth until you end up in a ditch. And sometimes people end up in a ditch and still don't embrace truth. And I think that one of the things that happens, guys, is that when we talk about it, how many times have we believed something that ended up being a lie? And TLC mentioned it earlier. We've talked about it on other podcasts. Until I change environments, I don't know it's a lie. And so if I know you're not going to move, if I know you're not going anywhere different, I can keep shooting you the lie. There's a lot of people who come into my bars. Man, don't nobody run a bar like this. Okay, go back to the one you like the way they run it. Because over here, it's a business that happens to be a bar, right? And at the end of the day, you can't work at the bank and not know how to count money. You can't work at a bar and not know how to make a cocktail. And think just because you cute, people going to put up with you. No, they won't. But see, you've been lied to about that. And then you get mad when people don't tip you for being subpar. A tip is discretionary. So the reason why I'm glad y'all bringing these topics up, is because these are real life things. And TLC, when you brought in that word environment, when I bring you down here to Orlando, you're going to see a different environment. And you're going to be
I've already seen it. So before COVID, I was working with this company. They had me traveling all over the United States. Again, they were talking about like recession, the economy's not good, all of that. Mm-hmm. My company sent me to, I think it's called Pompano Beach, Florida.
Pompano Beach, yes.
Pompano Beach. When I got there, all I saw was like yachts. Just yachts in the water.
Yes.
And I watched the news. They talking about recession, times are getting tight. I'm like, not for everybody. Somebody living good.
Well, that's because you got to change your news source. I didn't talk to you about that too.
We good.
BET ain't never lied to me, Jeff.
This cat said he watching BET for news.
That's better than the alternative.
but TLC is right. Your lie is tied to your environment, right? And so that's why, look, guys, When I drive to my place over in Orlando and I get to that traffic, getting into Disney, it's always backed up. Ain't no recession over there, right? But here's what I know, guys, and typically, guys, the biggest culprit of our lives start when we're born. The biggest culprit of our lives start when we're born, and it's called tradition. Everybody's born into a tradition. And the problem with tradition is that tradition never adjusts. Tradition never adjusts. Tradition requires that I lie to you. Tradition requires that I lie to you. And that's why I don't subscribe to tradition, because your tradition will try to make every situation adjust instead of you adjusting. And one of the things I've learned by being a businessman is that I'm the one who has to adjust, because when times change, you have to change. Otherwise, you start lying to yourself. I tell people all the time, you ain't got a problem if you lie to everybody else. You ain't got a problem till you start lying to yourself, right? So I know when I look in the mirror, I'm a solid 6. I'm a solid 6, right? When I look in the mirror, TLC, I'm a solid 6.
What you tell yourself.
TLC, I'm a solid 6 when I look in the mirror, right?
That's what you tell yourself.
TLC, I'm a solid 6, but boy, don't let me start talking to you. Cause boy, I become Denzel Washington quick. You sitting there see, that's training. That's training. Why? I remember my first job out of college. Jeff, your paint job gonna cause a lot of people to not want to talk to you, right? However, you got to use your training, because when you open your mouth, it's got to be effective from word one. It's got to be effective from word one. And where did they send me to train at? Bars and nightclubs. Go train there. Don't train don't train where the money on the line. Go train in other settings, just so you can get comfortable delivering this stuff. Because the truth is, your paint job is a problem. In this industry, your paint job is a problem. But the truth also is, if you start dropping wisdom, they ain't gonna see that paint job no more. Jump in there, Ron. I thought I saw you had your hand up.
Oh, I didn't, but that's okay.
I thought I saw you.
It's okay, man. Look, get your drink and smoke it. It's all right. But no, man. That's a true statement. I never heard it put like that as your paint job. I remember early on when I was trying to use my college degree from ECU, and I was a health inspector.
Hold on, East Carolina's a college? Oh, sorry.
You know
go ahead.
what? Because we ain't gonna go there with that floppy wolf pack. Y'all playing some weak teams right now, but that's a whole. Let's have another doggone. I'm getting hyped.
That's a Tahitian treat. That's a Tahitian treat, y'all. That's a Tahitian treat.
Look, man.
Sorry,
sensitive.
Sorry, my bad, Rhonda. Go ahead, Rhonda. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
But no, I remember being an inspector and being out in the rural parts of eastern North Carolina, and here you are inspecting wells and septic tanks to go in people's yards, and you're out here the only little chocolate chip cookie. Mm-hmm. And here you are with all these people these men that dig wells, and that's what they do for a living, and septic tanks and stuff, and they're all white, older men at that. And so you're right, I had to bring what I learned and what I was trained to do in order for them to listen to me and understand that, like, hey, I know how soil perks too. I know how to design septic tank systems. I know like all of that stuff, right? Because you do have to work harder when you're in certain fields. You're a minority somewhere.
Rhonda, you got to work harder in every field, not certain fields, every field.
Well, every field.
Well, Rhonda, we not gonna lie to these people on the podcast, right? Don't think there's an easier route. There's no easier route, right? It doesn't matter which field you in. It don't get easier with that paint job. Go ahead, Rhonda.
Well, your paint job is always going to be there, right? Like at the end of the day, we know whatever your skin color is, whatever you choose to present yourself as, that's always going to be there. But I also know I'm not going to get up here and pretend that I could be an engineer somewhere. It's just not something for me to do. That would be a lie out the gate, right? And so, yeah, you try to stay in that vein if you want, but when you're trying to be out here and impressing people and acting like you have this and you have that, when you know that's not the case, then that is the problem where, y'all can't handle the truth. So let's keep lying.
And guess what, guys? Guess what? This is why every company has to have training, because every employee has been told lies. So you got to train them so they don't let the lies override the company mission. And this is what this got told to me my first job out of college. My first job out of college, I was in Research Triangle Park, and I'm sitting in that training room thinking I had this degree, thinking I knew all this stuff. And the first thing they got to teach you is everything you got taught was a lie. You like, hold on, look, I got these college loans kicking in about 6 months, and you telling me everything I done learned is a lie? Yes, because it's not based on reality. It's based on you being able to pass a test, a test that the professor deems accurate, not real life stuff. That's why why do we go to college and still got to do internships? And that's the first thing my manager told me out of college. If your college degree was so good, why do you have to do an internship? If the information you were getting was practical, you wouldn't have to do internships and residencies and all that stuff. And it makes so much sense that it's just like, if I'm gonna make so much money with this college degree, why am I working through college? And all this stuff that you hear, and Rhonda, you bring up a good point, man, about being an inspector, because every inspector is hated. And you know, for y'all don't understand, if you never run a business or anything like that, when that inspector shows up, even if you're an employee, when that inspector shows up, everybody hates the inspector, right? Mm-hmm. So doing that job means I gotta be so much better at what I'm doing, because I'm coming here to see your violations or your compliance. You either violating or you either compliant when the inspector shows up.
You got their livelihood. You got their livelihood.
Yes. But we always, but remember, guys, the inspector not coming to check what the owner's doing. The inspector coming to check what the employees are doing, right? Because the employees didn't sign the paperwork that they would be compliant. The owner did. The owner is letting the employees run the business. So all of a sudden, if that dishwater ain't a certain temperature, or if there's something else going around, right? They gotta go ahead and check that stuff. But I think we need to hone in on this thing about what TLC said. I think we got to hone in on this environment and on tradition, because one of the things, these are the two things that make me have to lie to you. And the first thing out of your mouth is going to tell me how your environment was growing up and what your tradition was growing up, because nobody wants to have to accept that everything I got taught was a lie. Everything I got taught was a lie. Because once your environment changes, you have to drop your tradition. It's no longer valid. It's no longer necessary. Jump in there, TLC. Let me know what you got to say.
The biggest lie out there is the customer's always right. Someone told me, they said, if the customer's always right, then what do they need you for? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's your job to educate the customer. The customer doesn't know everything. It's your job to educate them. And when I got into real estate, going back to what you were talking about, you know, you take the real estate class, you got to pass the test, exam and all this, and then you sign with the company, and they're like, all right, now I'm actually sure what you're supposed to be doing.
And it ain't nothing like what's in the class.
It's completely different. And they're like, you know what, your goal as a real estate agent is to be an expert on absolutely nothing. All you're supposed to do is guide them in the right direction. If there's a hole in the floor or a dent, you know what, you need an inspector for that. You're not the expert. You don't know nothing about foundation or nothing. Yep. You just have to know how to guide people. You're a facilitator. That's your main job as a realtor. And you learn that. Like, I'm not here to be an expert on that. I'm here to guide you towards the expert, but I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong in either case. And it was just funny that you brought that up. I was like,
well, yeah. But TLC, it's the truth. Everything you've gotten formal training on, when you get into the real world, it's a lie. It's a lie. I've had some of my bars when we doing build outs, inspectors show up, and the guy who's actually doing the build out says, well, we did it this way because of this, this, and this. And inspectors say, God, that's a good idea, man. Yeah, just change it on your. Here's what he say: just change it on the drawings as as built. Man, we'll let that slide. That actually makes sense, right? You've seen it, man, because what'll happen, guys, environment and tradition, that determines whether I tell you the truth or whether I tell you the lie. Rhonda, what do you think when you hear me say that?
I mean, well, you got a valid point with that. I feel like when you're on the personal side of things, when it comes to the lie will set you free, you want to be able to have that real conversation with people, even though they may not be ready for it. On the professional side, yeah, if it makes sense, do that. There ain't a lot of going back and forth, right? It ain't a lot of going back and forth. But if you're dealing with somebody who just had a breakup over a lie, or whatever other reason, right? Like, are you gonna necessarily tell them the truth right then and there, or are you just gonna be like, you know what? Let me just keep it here, because they may take it all the way up here, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready for all of that, right? And so then is that lie okay, or is it just delaying the inevitable?
So hold on, Rhonda, stop right there. Let's stick a pin in that. Rhonda just let the listeners know that you better. The problem with truth is that the lie never has to be timely, but telling people the truth has to be timely. Like this is what's crazy, right? This is what's crazy. The lie is always convenient, but damn if we ain't got to go into our secret closet and seek Jesus's wisdom before we tell somebody the truth.
Yeah.
This is why I say the lie will set you free, because some of y'all just want to keep living the lie. Look at what Rhonda's saying. Like, man, you going through a breakup. I want to tell you the truth, but now is now the right time? But it was the right time when he was doing all that other stuff to you. The lie is always convenient, which is that if people can't tell you the truth, that's a big problem, guys.
But the lie doesn't ask questions. The truth, you got a whole book, a whole list of questions you want to ask when the truth comes out.
And then
because the lie is like, we out here chilling.
Yes.
And everything. Your whole word done blown up.
The lie don't have no work, man. Let me just keep lying to this cat, bro, because I ain't got time for this. Right?
Hey,
look at what before we got on this podcast, I told TLC how I crushed it on the golf course yesterday. What'd he say to me?
Oh,
no, you didn't.
Another lie.
Right? See, this is what
you shoot. I never had a number. I still have.
It don't matter what I shot. It doesn't matter what I shot. My team won. Y'all see, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all, right? This is what I'm trying to tell you. I tell my dog that I killed it. I tell my dog I was surgical around the greens. He don't believe it. Now it's the truth. Now, if I would have said I played like crap, figured. Yep, I believe that, right? And this is what you guys got to learn. In our industry, I shouldn't say industry, one of the biggest problems in every community is lying is big business. Why do you think politicians do it? And TLC, I'm going to jump on you for something you said. The customer is always right. The customer is always right. And let me tell you why. The problem is employees are not trained. So why do I even have to set a situation where I'm fighting with the customer? The only reason I'm fighting with a customer is I came out of training mode. Because if I do what everything in the operations manual say to do, why the customer gonna get mad? I don't see nobody fighting at Publix. Publix tells you where shopping is a pleasure, right? And the customer's always right. Well, if the employee does training, TLC, customer issues are pretty much non-existent. Look at what's happening with these airline flights. And guys, TLC got another podcast we gonna do, man, about traveling. So y'all be on the lookout for that one. I don't want him to think I forgot about him. He came up with an idea that, in order to keep him coming back for free, I gotta pacify him and put his podcast up. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is I had to learn, if a customer is complaining, it's never about my well-trained staff. It's always about the one that's not trained, or the one that chooses not to use training, right? Because very rarely do you have a complaint about your well-trained staff. Go ahead and jump in there, TLC. Let me know what you're saying, bro.
I don't think it's necessarily complaining about the staff. I think some customers have bad information. They get bad information, and they want to roll with it. Especially like in real estate, you have people that qualify for maybe a $200,000 house, and they think they can get a $350,000 house.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to be mad at you because they're not qualifying, or they can't get that $300,000 house. At a certain point, what I do is I just go and show them the $350,000 house, let them crash, let them see, and then once they've gone through that process, then they realize that what I told them was correct. Like, okay.
But see, TLC, that's the best thing you did. I got people who say, look, I want a 4-bedroom house on the water, but I only got $150,000 budget. Okay, I'm gonna just send you this search on what 4-bedroom houses on the water cost. Right? At the end of the day, hey, look, I as your agent, I gotta present all offers. I'll send that $150,000 offer over on that $900,000 house. Let's see you not get any. Let's see you not get any feedback from that. And I'm glad you bringing up the real estate thing because once again, environment costs more money. Right? You sitting over there in that $150,000 neighborhood saying you ain't no different than the people that living on the water. Yeah, you are.
Right.
Yes,
but they didn't want to believe you from the start.
You didn't want to believe me, so I got to take you through the process. The truth always has to be proven, guys. The truth always has to be proven. And I think one of the things we deal with, and guys, again, this is why I'm thankful Rhonda and TLC are on this podcast, because these are conversations I can have with people who the reason why the relationships have gone on this long is we've always chosen truth. But it ain't easy to choose truth. Right? Literally, people walking up to Torrance right now, man, why the hell you hang out with that guy? Right? Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. Right? Rhonda's people, man, dude, why you talk about your brother so much? All this kind of stuff, because when Rhonda and I are on the phone, we can have a conversation. TLC and I on the phone, we can have a conversation that's based in truth. Truth is what keeps relationships going, right? But TLC, going back to that example you gave at the beginning about that marriage where something happened 20 years ago, at the end of the day, the lie has become the truth. The lie has become the truth. And y'all got to remember something, right? I know I said environmental. I said environmental and tradition. But I also want to add something else. Truth is subjective, right? And the best part about it, go back to the movie Couples Retreat. If y'all have ever seen the movie Couples Retreat, one of my best scenes is after when your boy Vince Vaughn got caught out there and the sharks started coming. And them sharks didn't pose no threat to that guy. But when he was telling the story and everybody was like, nah, man, it didn't happen like that, bro. We watched it. He was like, I know my truth. And all he kept saying was, I know my truth. Right? And so I learned something about that movie, which is I know what I want my truth to be. Everybody who was literally out there saying, man, them sharks weren't going to do anything to you, bro. They were telling you to swim. Just swim back to the boat. There was nothing going to happen to you. No, I know my truth. And I think one of the things, guys, we struggle with is we start making the lie our truth subjectively so that we can cope. And that's why I said the lie gonna set you free, because you have a decision to make. Either I accept the truth and really move forward, or I tell myself the lie is the truth and my life immediately starts going backwards. And this is why we got so many people claiming they got mental health issues, claiming they got anxiety issues, claiming they got depression issues. Why? I want my lie to be true. But my lie is not lining up with the results of truth, guys. And here's the deal. Truth always gets real results. Lies keeps putting your results in the future. A lie never brings results. It keeps telling you to wait. That's why fake it till you make it. Yeah. You never make it. Go ahead, Rhonda, jump in there real fast.
Well, the lie also will keep people interested. Mm-hmm. The lie will keep people wanting more, even though, like, it's almost like you got to make it deeper than what it is. And so if the truth is plain and simple, there's no drama behind that. If it is the truth. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And yeah, we could all get away with that line, but that's my truth. Because that's what a lot of people say now. That's my truth.
That's my truth.
Right? Like, and that's how they could dismiss you. That's how they could cut you off. That's how they could make it be like, this is set in stone. This is it. When people all around him said, no, man, we were there. We saw that. Like, it's nothing like what you are saying, right? But as long as you believe on the inside, nobody else can tell you anything. It's the same way with talking to somebody that's angry. You might as well just fall back, because they ain't gonna hear nothing you got to say if they angry. And if they're angry with the lie, you better watch out, because they don't care what they say.
They go into rage. They go into rage if you try to tell them the truth. If they already angry with the lie, that's when things get ugly. Because
and don't pull out their receipts.
Yeah.
Even that's fake.
Yeah, don't pull out receipts, bro. And TLC jumping, I see you laughing. I know you got something to say on that one. Go ahead.
When Rhonda said that, it made me think about this Seinfeld episode where Jerry's trying to beat the lie detector, and he goes to George, and George says, the only thing I can tell you is, it's not a lie if you believe it.
But TLC, that's the truth, right? That's the truth, right? See, guys, this is why we can have this conversation. We can have this podcast, Because a lot of y'all, right? Look, we go on Instagram. We see people with filters. We go on Snapchat. You see these filters. You go on TikTok. You see these filters, which ain't nothing but a lie, right? Filters ain't nothing but another way of lying and deceiving. That's all it is, right? Because here's what I want to look like. Here's what I want to give you the appearance I look like. Here's me saying this is the appearance I want to give off. Versus when I see you in person, it's completely different. It's completely different. And one of the things you're gonna find, guys, is that as we that Seinfeld episode, TLC, I've seen that episode, and it's so funny. If you believe the lie, you can beat the lie detector test. If you lie and don't believe it, right? The biggest thing is, guys, if your lie is your truth, you can beat any lie detector test. But just know when you come in contact with true people, you can't beat that. You can beat a machine, but you can't beat somebody who operates in truth, because everybody who operates in truth operates off results. If your lie is good, I should still see some results. But a lot of these people out here just lying to themselves, hoping they go viral, and then I'll start telling the truth once I get to where I'm at. And remember, guys, I got to start telling the truth over little things so that I can get big things. Go ahead and jump in there, TLC.
Oh, when you said that going back to the Bernie Madoff thing, I was like, the guy that realized Bernie Madoff his numbers weren't adding up and everything. He had the numbers. He had everything. He was like, something's not adding up with this guy. But the people around him, I guess they were all making money off. They were all making money off of Bernie Madoff too. They didn't want to hear this guy. And I think when it comes to telling lies and you're going back to the environment, it's just so surprising at how many people want to really believe the lie.
Absolutely. But TLC, I can believe the lie when my money my money is increasing. If your lie gets people money increasing, it becomes truth real fast. Right? Like you say, that's the beauty of the Bernie Mac story. I mean, not the Bernie Madoff story. Sorry, guys. This bourbon got. Hey, look, I'm still recovering from yesterday.
You need to be drinking water, straight water.
I need a Sprite, a ginger ale. I need to get Rhonda to send me one of them ginger ales. I know she got in her house.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying, TLC, is that everybody knew what he was doing, but everybody was getting rich off of it. Here's the thing I want to have my listeners understand too. Your lie better be beneficial to me if you want to keep telling it to me. Your lie better be beneficial to me if you want to keep telling it to me. But don't tell me no lie just because this become your truth. I'm looking for physical, as Rhonda say, receipts. Because a lot of people who are lying, ask them for receipts. Ask them for receipts. The one thing they don't want to provide is receipts. And so when you talk about environment, when you talk about tradition, all right? And now, guys, just know that the lie is so much easier in life. Mm-hmm. This is why certain people hate me because I tell them the truth. Certain people hate me because I tell them the truth. When I literally tell people, I don't know the real you until I take the burdens and yokes off of you, they get mad. No, I'm me. That's just what's making me stronger. No, it ain't, bro. You're losing. You losing, right? Like, but you telling yourself this making you strong. One of the things I hate, man, when I hear people talk about, man, I got to get out here on my grind. I tell everybody I meet, take grind out of your vocabulary. Absolutely. If a gear on your car is grinding, they replace it. You don't let the car keep grinding, right? If your car was making a grinding noise, if your blender making a grinding noise, you don't say, man, look, keep working, bro, gonna get better, bro. I see you, dog. I see you, man. Go get that grind. No, bro, they replace it.
I say what noise and keep riding.
TLC,
that's sure what I said last
TLC,
week.
Ain't that the truth, TLC, don't we say, look, how we putting the black tape over the check engine light? Right? No, we gonna ride this thing. We gonna ride this, and then we go to AutoZone. Let them put the thing.
I got a couple months before my inspection.
TLC, we go to AutoZone. We go to AutoZone because the check engine light on. They tell us the codes. They tell us what's wrong with it, and then all of a sudden, when we drive off, man, it wasn't doing that till they put that thing on the computer to see what was wrong with it, right? Because we had told ourselves, I don't hear nothing. And once they tell you what it is, and that's why when I tell people we can't handle the truth, That's why I made this topic the way it is. If you're a person who got to be lied to, guys, if you're a person who got to be lied to, that's not my fault. I want everybody who dealing with me to tell me the truth. How do I know it's the truth? I line it up with the results. I line it up with the actions, right? So don't tell me you care about my business, but when I walk in the next morning, the floor hadn't been mopped, right? You know, it's one of those situations, guys. We've heard, look, trust but verify. Trust but verify. And I think one of the things we struggle with right now, all of us have gotten lied to so much. A lot of relationships would be gone if we started telling people the truth. And we value relationships. We don't want to lose our relationships. So you kind of got to keep the lie. You kind of got to keep the lie going. Rhonda, what do you think about when you hear me say that?
You know, I think you keep it going as long as you possibly can. It's very hard to be in a friendship relationship where one person is 99% truthful and the other one is not. There's going to be a lot of conflict going on in that. You're gonna get tired of it, right? You're gonna say like, well, you know what? If you ain't ready to be real about what we got going on, what we're doing, then there's no need for me to stay around. But then if they don't see that there's nothing wrong because they're seeing the pie in the sky or whatever, then, you know, why stick around? Why stick around for that? But if you're a cheater with the cheater, you'll be fine. You'll have a great relationship.
Rhonda, it's so funny that you, but Rhonda, it's so funny that you say that. It's so funny that you say that. Liars out there. You got to find another liar. The worst thing you can do is find somebody who's rooted in truth. And what I mean by that is like attracts like. Like attracts like. And I'm glad Rhonda brought that up because what happens is liars always phase their way out of your life, by the way. If they see you committed to truth, they'll phase themselves out of your life. And that's one of the reasons I like doing this podcast, man. I just love to profile real relationships because don't nobody know how they actually work. The best part about having an audio podcast is me, Rhonda, and TLC can see each other, but y'all can't see us. Because if y'all saw TLC's face not agreeing with me, right, that's going to mess up y'all listening, right? But see, I can see Rhonda's face. I can see TLC's face. They can see mine. And I think what's happening, guys, is that a lot of times we are trained on how to deal with liars, and we're trained to question people who are about the truth. And that's got to stop. That's got to stop because if I got to lie to you to be around you, that's a problem. If I got to lie to you to be around you, that's a problem because then I just can't talk to you that often. If I look in the mirror and I say I'm a solid 6, don't lie to me and tell me, nah, Jeff, you at least an 8, right? No, don't lie to me. I know I see a 6. Look at TLC. Look at TLC. I know I see a 6. I know I see a 6. What I do know, though, is at my training, I'm a 10. At my training.
You got one of them Disney mirrors.
see, y'all, that's why we boys right there, right? That's why we boys. But my point I want to make, guys, as we get ready to come to a close on this thing, is that we hope we gave y'all some points regarding don't be a person who I have to lie to you to set you free. And here's what's happening because the freedom is temporary. I'm just coddling you because you've decided that you want to be lied to. Ain't nothing gonna work out, man. Hey, look, just wait till Jesus come call you home. Yeah, ain't nothing gonna get better for you. And one of the things you'll find, liars always phase themselves out of your life if you're rooted in the truth. And if you don't realize that, guys, this is what I love about going to get a loan from the bank. You can lie to yourself, but the bank wants truth. We were talking about with real estate, right? Oh, you could want that 4-bedroom house on the water. That's fine. You can want it. But now we need truth. So I can take you to see it. I'll take you to see it. Let you walk around it. Let you go and confess your scriptures all around it. Here, my God gonna supply all my needs according to His riches. Go ahead, walk around it 7 times and sound the trumpet. Go ahead and do everything. Go ahead and send me them pay stubs and go ahead and send me them tax returns. Let me run your credit report. Why do people have to do that, guys? Because 99% of the people lie. And the reason I got to prove the truth is because of all the people who are lying. Now, before we get out of here, TLC, what's your closing statement on this podcast? And then, Ron, we want you to get in there, man. Let's close this thing out.
Man, the best thing I've heard tonight was that the truth is timely and the lie isn't. I was like, wow, you can lie forever.
Yes.
But the truth is like, wow, like I'm taking that with me.
Yeah. Rhonda, what you got, Rhonda?
No, TLC, that's a good one. That definitely that could sum up this whole podcast for tonight as far as that goes. But also what you were saying, what y'all both brought to the table with the tradition and the environment. That's huge too, because if your environment is in a place where all you can do is lie, then that's what's gonna happen. But then you'll come back to your tradition. And then you're lying there too. Then when you get smacked in the face by somebody who knows the truth, then they crazy. They the ones that's crazy.
Yes.
So all three of those, from the environment, tradition, and the timeliness or lack thereof of the truth.
Man, you look, and I appreciate y'all being on the podcast, man. My takeaway, guys, is that my takeaway is don't be the person in your circle that got to be lied to, because everybody got somebody in their circle that got to be lied to because they just trying to hold on. That's why I'm saying the lie set you free. You calling me to help you cope, and I get it. You need somebody to lie to you, because if you got to accept the truth, you'll kill yourself. I get so tired of hearing mental health, depression, and anxiety, and all it is that people stop lying to me. And I don't want to accept the fact that what I believed my entire freaking life was a lie. And the people who told you those lies can't explain to you why they lied to you, other than the fact I'm just trying to protect you. If I told you the truth, you would have committed suicide. Like, dude, sometimes you don't know how broke you were. Then you find out later, like, God, dog, how did we make it? Right?
Yeah.
It just, and I think that one of the things we struggle with, guys, and I appreciate you guys being on the panel, because like I tell my listeners, the Hometown Hookup Edition, man, we can have these raw topics because we can kind of talk about coming from a small town when our environments change and we got to these big cities, that nothing that we did in the country is what they do in the city. And it takes me back to the movie Life, when Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence got up there, got down to Mississippi. And Eddie Murphy told Martin Lawrence, man, put a little pep in your step. I don't want these people to think we from around here. Right? That's what he right? And he's just like, and all that happened was he changed environments and they got locked up. They got locked up trying to run a hustle like they were running in New York. Came down here, we don't do that down here. And what did Eddie Murphy say? What did Martin Lawrence say? Does the name Spanky Johnson mean anything to you? Nope. It don't mean nothing. Right? And what did Eddie Murphy say? What did Martin Lawrence say? And I promise y'all I'm going to close. What did Martin Lawrence say? Judge, I'm going to go in there tomorrow and say, Judge, there was some spanky booze. That wasn't our booze. That was spanky booze. And that dude said, life. No, because the booze was with you. Everybody who watching it knew. But in a court of law, what was the truth? It belonged to you. And I think one of the things, everybody should have a court of law for their personal life. In my court of law, I'm going by the truth. Don't come to me with your lies, because liars always change people who believe in truth. Truthers never convince liars. And that's what I want to end up, man. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast, man. I'm the real Cigar Jeff. Y'all look below, man, in the merch. Look below in the description. Get the merch. Support the channel. I want to thank my panel. TLC, tell them where they can find you at again on Instagram, brother.
Instagram is TL Clayton #1.
Rhonda, tell them where they can find you at.
At RMBLMBT on IG.
Man, and I'm telling y'all boy TLC coming down here to make his appearance in Florida first weekend in October. My goal is that nobody shows up so he can realize don't nobody like him like that. So y'all make sure y'all don't be lining up at my bar on that Friday night, because that's when I'm gonna bring him in there. Y'all don't come down there and see him. I want it to be completely empty when it come time to seeing him, because I'm gonna let him sign autographs and all that. He think he bigger than your boy. But man, I appreciate y'all being on. As always, the Hometown Hookup Edition. Y'all make sure, man, don't let it be that a lie has to set you free. Always be able to handle the truth so you can expand, you can grow. And everything you trying to achieve with the lie actually happens when you subscribe to the truth, man. And man, look, I appreciate y'all. This Monte Cristo and went down smooth. This bourbon and gone down smooth. Rhonda and TLC, I appreciate y'all. And man, y'all know what it is. And until next time, I'm gonna holler.